Welcome to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. Seth is recovering from his trip to Africa, a little time difference there. But we're going to hop right into spring sports as we get into this season. I know snow's still on the ground. Hard to believe it's right around the corner, but we're joined by one of our golfers. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from.
Yeah, I'm Zach Miller. I'm from here in Dickinson. Grew up actually in Richardson. And then we moved up here after my 8th grade year. Chose to go to South Hart and played golf for them, played basketball, the whole works, and then decided to come be a Hawk, and I couldn't have chose a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a senior, 4 years culminating. What has that all been like, and how do you feel that now the end's only 8 weeks away?
Yeah, the end is in sight now, and really it's crazy to look back at how much we've done in the last 4 years. You and me, Parker, both with school and athletics, and the Theodore Roosevelt Honors Leadership Program has been pivotal for me. So really to see it all unfold now and to look back on it is truly special. But man, it's gone quick, and yeah, really looking forward to the future.
Yeah, we talk about a lot on this show, the different families that each person that comes here has. For you, TR Honor and Leadership Program, as you mentioned, was a big part of your academic career. Talk a little bit about that and how much that's built you up.
Yeah, so with our focus really on leadership, that's really allowed me to improve as an individual, I'd say. As the most, you learn skills in that program that really drive you to the next level. It's outside the classroom stuff, community events, volunteering, service-oriented. Really, that drive for really serving others has been truly a blessing to learn and to be a part of, and it is a close-knit family.
Yeah, and with that, you got to go to a conference last fall. Talk a little bit about going down to Atlanta and experiencing that.
Yeah, so we have a National Collegiate Honors Conference, and that is a national conference held every year at a different city. October of 2016 was out in Seattle, and then this last November it was held in Atlanta. And really, it gives us an opportunity to see different cities, collaborate with other honors programs throughout the country, and it really shows us how unique Dickinson State is. Not many honors programs are focused upon leadership, so it's really neat to see DSU's focus on that, and especially Theodore Roosevelt involved in that. Most colleges just have their core classes, their general ed classes with the honors program, and it really isn't as tight-knit as DSU is, so I'm truly thankful for that.
Absolutely. And then now moving into the athletic side, golf, you've been doing this up here in North Dakota for a long time, but 4 years in college. How do you maintain throughout the winters that we know can be so brutal?
Yeah, it's difficult. Luckily, we have the West River Community Center, and they've really helped us. They've gotten us in the simulator. It's really up to us how much work we want to put in the off season, but really that's been a focus for me, just to at least keep the swing going. And then we just got back from Arizona, and that was a fun trip and really got us prepped, hopefully soon, to be out there on the course here in North Dakota. So
yeah, absolutely. With that West River Community Center, also getting in there, playing league, getting kind of a little competitive spirit at the same time. How would you and I fare for all the audience out there? Let them know how we did.
Yeah, well, we were hoping maybe we could get some North Star Athletic or Athlete of the Week here honors for that, but we didn't quite come to that. But we ended up winning the league championship, you and I together, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have any bold proclamations for Saturday in the championship or the new event, single event, go ahead and say it into the camera. Let them know that we're gonna win.
Yeah, we're coming for you, West River Community Center. We're gonna take the championship home again, and really looking forward to a fun Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. You also mentioned that Arizona trip, getting out, getting on real grass, like you're not indoors anymore, getting to see the ball fly more than 5 yards. How awesome has that experience been over the 4 years?
That has been probably the best trip we've taken every year. Larry Merwin and his family hosts us every year, Prairie Fuels out of Baker, Montana. They've been a true blessing to the program. They've donated their time and their facilities to us to stay with them so we can have a cost-efficient trip for one, but also have a fun time while doing it. And to see those courses and to see how kids react to the desert environment, it's a totally different game down there. So to get those experiences on those courses with Larry's hospitality and his family has been an amazing experience for the last 4 years.
Yeah, and we get to see a lot of DSU familiar faces down there. Coach Limke, he coached your dad, so it's got to be pretty cool to see some of those faces down there.
Yeah, to see it all come together. My dad played amateur basketball for the Hawks, and Coach Lemke coached him the first 2 years he was there, and then to see him down there and he remembered my dad, that was pretty special. It really shows how tight-knit that Blue Hawk family really is throughout the world.
Yeah, looking forward to the regular season of spring golf. April 8th and 9th, we're supposed to be on a course in Volleyball Fit, but how special is it to look forward to that, especially at that course in our region here?
Yeah, Bully is a special place, especially with our tie to Theodore Roosevelt. For me to go out there and have a golf tournament out there is pretty special, and whether or not it'll happen this spring, up in the air, but we've had the blessing in the past years to be out there. They've hosted us very well, and it's always a fun track to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it goes that, Billings, and then conference, 3 quick weeks. There goes the season. It seems like every year it's a sprint to the finish. How do you have to maintain throughout a quick period, take advantage?
Yeah, it's a quick window of time, so you really have to be sharp mentally, and that's been the biggest aspect coming in. The fall, of course, is a little bit different because you have the whole summer to prep. Coming off the winter, though, transitioning into spring is very difficult. And then to have really 3 to 4 weeks of competition is tough, too, because there's not a large window of time, to get super solid tournament play. And you and I know well that sometimes it doesn't work out, but sometimes, you play really well. So it's all a game of chance here with the weather. So.
Yeah, and for conference, we're going down to Albert Lee, Minnesota, course that held it a couple years ago, a couple semesters, whatever it was. How nice is that to be familiar with the place that'll be hosting conference?
Yeah, to go back there again, that'll be awesome. It's a great course. It kind of fits us well. Hopefully they don't have what did they have last time? 4 inches of rain right before we showed up. So hopefully the weather will treat us well, and I'm looking forward to be back in Albert Lee.
I hope it does rain so I can take lift clean in place on every shot. A couple questions down the line here. Your dream foursome, so you and 3 other people, what would it be?
Boy, that is a difficult question. I would have to say Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Jack Nicklaus.
Okay, your dad didn't make the cut, and you can take note of that. Your favorite golf memory, whether it be on the course, anything related to golf?
There's been quite a few of them, of course, but I would really have to say one of my favorite memories is the first time I went out to South Hart and was introduced to Kirby and the crew out there. I went to a youth golf camp. I think it was 5th grade, and that really opened the doors to a lot of different things. Looking back on it now, like going to school there 4 years later, really that camp was a gateway to a lot of different things, and that's been pretty special to me.
Yeah. Your favorite shot to hit, what's your go-to?
I would say, this is going to sound weird, but a little knockdown 60-degree low spinner. It's a very difficult shot to hit. Trajectory is key there, but that's the low trajectory shot that you need in North Dakota to knock them tight.
Absolutely. Your favorite course?
Favorite course that I've played, or?
Yeah, that you played. Let's go.
I would say Hazeltine National. They hosted the Ryder Cup there in 2016. I played a junior event there in 2013. Won't tell you what I shot. Difficult track. So, But it was awesome to be in the footsteps of heroes there. Payne Stewart's got a bridge there, so really it's a surreal place.
Yeah, and to close things out, like we said, 8 weeks to graduation. What's next for you beyond your time at DSU?
Yeah, well, I've had the blessing to work for American Bank Center throughout college pretty much. I started there when I was a freshman, so been with them for a little bit over 3 years in their IT department. So I plan to continue with them for a little while, and we'll see how the future goes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Zach. Let's go get them this year.
Parker.
I think this year's our year, but we'll see what happens. Golf 8th and 9th of April. We're at Bully Pulpit. You sure can come out and watch us. There will be plenty of room for you out there. We'll be back talking about the Centennial Celebration, alumni relations after the break. Welcome back to HawkTalk. This time we're joined by another familiar face on the campus of DSU, Alumni Relations Director Alicia Erickson. With warmer weather and with the Centennial, everything that's going on, it seems like a busy time of year, and spring's always an exciting time for your position.
Oh, definitely. There's never a dull moment, Parker. We're gearing up for the rodeo season as well, and so we're going to be having a membership drive on Friday night at the DSU Heritage Foundation starting at 6:30 p.m. to try to add a few more members to our council. In addition to that, we have the Blue Hawk Rendezvous, which supports the Blue Hawk Booster Club and our athletic department on Saturday night at the Astoria. Those are just a couple of the key things going on this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back a little way to kind of earlier in the Centennial year, you had the privilege to go down in Arizona and connect with some of those alumni, like we talked with Zach. Talk about how special that is to see some of those faces and hear the stories.
It's a great time to be able to go down to Arizona, meet with some of our alumni, but as well as our friends, some of the residents that are snowbirds that go to Arizona during the winter months. We had a golf tournament down there, but we also had a chance to have dinner with a lot of those alumni and friends. So being able to hear their stories, see how they're doing health-wise, as well as just stay connected, let them know what's going on with the Centennial, what's going on with the university, some of our new initiatives. I enjoy hearing their stories about when they attended DSU. And so to be able to make that connection year after year is an important part of my job, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned hearing those stories, hearing what they've gone on to do. How special is that? To bring that back to DSU and be able to tell some current students, oh, here's someone that might be in a field you're interested in.
It's incredible because I don't think you can really make that connection until you hear the story of an alum. And so when we had our Give to DSU week back in February, and we hired our students to call those prospective donors, I told them, you might be talking to some people that attended school here back in the 40s and 50s, and don't be afraid to engage them in conversation. And it was exciting for them to kind of hear some of those little stories, like Stickney Hall used to be an all-women's residence hall, those type of things. They could hear it from a staff member or a faculty member on campus, but it might go in one ear and out the other. But hearing it firsthand from someone that lived it is truly an experience.
Yeah, and you mentioned hiring kind of those student workers to come into the DSU Heritage Foundation. It's kind of hard to keep track of everyone right now, but there's a vibrancy around the foundation, and going into the Centennial year, do you feel the same?
Oh, for sure. We have donors that come in every day. Today was an exceptionally busy morning, I would have to say, but we actually just, before I came here, I had a guy that I talked to who was returning a phone message from during the phone-a-thon. And so we still have people getting a hold of us. Had a nice visit with one of our committee members about the centennial and some of the events that he's helping to plan for the athletic reunion. And I think it kind of gives us the energy to keep on going day in and day out.
Yeah, and you mentioned kind of those different people coming in, but also the community members and all the support that they do, in your planning and whatever it may be. How supportive has the community been in all the efforts?
The community of Dickinson, Dickinson State wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community members. I think back to every graduating class, and I'm always amazed at the number of alumni, the number of graduates that decide to stay here. We heard from Zach. His plans are to stay here and work for American Bank Center right away after he's done. So those type of jobs and those type of responsibilities like that kind of help prepare our graduates and make our graduates want to make Dickinson home.
Yeah, and with graduation only 8 weeks away, it's kind of a celebratory time for them, finishing their career, but also entering that alumni association and becoming a part of that family post-college. Talk a little bit about all that goes into that group.
Well, it's an exciting time for that group, especially considering that you're a member of it. But it's exciting to be able to welcome them into the association, let them know that you're always going to be a Blue Hawk. It doesn't matter if you stay in Dickinson or if you move to some other town anywhere in the United States or anywhere around the world. You're never going to be able to be anything but a Blue Hawk. That's always going to stay with you, even when you go on to graduate school. So being able to welcome them into the Alumni Association, we have our Grad Fest, which we're partnering with local businesses this year to kind of make it a little bit bigger and better for our graduates. And it just shows how those businesses are willing and want to give back to our students as well. So we'll do that all before the week of finals week. So during graduation, that Wednesday and Thursday, we have some activities planned for the graduates and just kind of sending them off in style before their parents arrive that Friday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of mentioned, always being a part of the Blue Hawk family, always doing that. With the foundation being fairly new, updating contact information is a nonstop thing, as you know. How can people connect with the foundation, get in contact with us?
A number of ways. You can go onto our website at www.dsuheritagefoundation.org, and you can fill out a form and update your information that way. You can give us a call at 701-483-2486, and we can walk you through your contact information over the phone. Or you can also stop by. We're at 230 8th Avenue West. We're the big blue building that really screams Blue Hawk Pride. Stop in. Our doors are always open. The coffee pot's always on. And you're going to find someone there from 7:45 in the morning until at least after 5, Monday through Friday.
Absolutely. Updating contact information is key for sending out mailings, keeping you informed about all that's going on at Dickinson State. With the celebrations continuing into the summer, kind of a whole list of things happening between the Centennial, golf events in Bismarck. Talk a little bit about the busy summer of 2018.
Okay. Well, we're fortunate that the 100-year birthday of Dickinson State, it'll kick off on June 28th during Rough Riders Days celebration. We're so fortunate that the people of the community really want to get involved with this. So having it over Rough Rider Days kind of gives people more bang and more reason to want to come back home. So that Thursday, we're going to have an alumni golf tournament. We're also going to partner with First on First. And so you're going to notice us downtown as well. That Friday, we'll have tours set up so people can check out campus, see how the buildings have changed over time. We're going to have an Alumni Association luncheon at the Ramada starting at 11:30. And then we'll have a barbecue, kind of like a tailgate style, over at the BAC parking lot starting at 5 p.m. on Friday night. It'll follow the reunion of the decades, which will take place at many of the local taverns. And in addition, we'll also have like a parking lot party with the help of Tracy Tews. Saturday, we're going to partner with Best Friends Mentoring for their annual Family Fun Day 5K walk, run, and youth competition. That starts at 7:30. There'll be a pancake breakfast over at Hawks Point, as well as the annual Rough Rider Days Parade, in which each of the decades will have a float that they can ride on if they so desire. And then we'll have the big old class photos. We're hoping to get everyone out in front of May Hall so that we can take a big class photo for everyone that is an alum of Dickinson State. And then we invite everyone to go to the Family Fun Day starting at noon in the DSU mall area. So it'll continue on with a ice cream social over at the Dickinson Museum Center, in which the Museum Center will have a display of Dickinson State memorabilia there. And then that night we invite people to go to the Family Community Center, especially if they have little kids, for a family fun night. So there's a wide variety of activities taking place in June. And then in July, we're going to have golf tournaments and a social in Bismarck on July 24th. So stay tuned for more information about that. And then if, there's always going to be another celebration over homecoming. That's going to be an athletic reunion. It should be great. So mark your calendars for October 11th through the 13th. It ties in with all of our homecoming festivities, but we're hoping that this reunion will bring back some of our legendary football players from the 1960s and 70s. We know that Coach Hank Bijou is going to be there, so we know that a lot of those former football players, the volleyball players, they're going to want to come back and see their coaches as well as their teammates.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot for families, a lot for, whatever age you are, whatever year you graduated. There's certainly something for you, and all that information is on dsuheritagefoundation.org. For yourself, as an alumni of Dickinson State, how are you looking forward to celebrating seeing some of your old classmates?
I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to Rough Rider Days every year because there's always alumni that come back, some of my old friends that come back. I can't wait to see some of them because for myself, I've been out of college for, 18 years it'll be, which is hard to believe, but I'm looking forward to just seeing those. But I'm also looking forward to just seeing some of our alumni that I've only heard stories about. Some of the legends that graced May Hall. I want to meet them and get to hear their stories because those are stories that I can pass on to the future generations.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's a good time to collect those stories and to catalog everyone and that everything that Dickinson State means to people. So make sure you join us, contact us, whatever it may be, to share your story about Dickinson State. We'd love to hear it. At contact@dsuheritagefoundation.org would be a great email to send that. Thanks for coming on, Alicia. Look forward to it. Everything this summer, dsuheritagefoundation.org for all of that information there. The rendezvous this weekend, they have an online auction. You can find a link to that on the DSU Heritage Foundation and DSU Blue Hawks athletic page on online or on Facebook, whatever it may be. Track on the road, baseball on the road. They're not back until April. Keep up on dsubluehawks.com for the latest on that. And until next week, Hawks are up.